Outsiders åkte till Cornwall som ligger i södra England. Där i en stuga på landet bor Arthur Boyd tillsammans med sin fru. Och där lever de ett behagligt pensionärsliv. Vid första anblicken ser Arthur ut att vara en helt vanlig engelsk gentleman, men skenet bedrar. Arthur har en extremt ovanlig hobby. En hobby som får de flesta andra att rysa av avsmak och äckel.
I pick up dead animals and birds that are killed beside the road whenever I come across them, and I have done for a good length of time. Take them home, skin them, pluck them, whatever, and prepare them for the pot and have a meal that costs me nothing. Now this is a barn owl which I picked up this morning on the road to the West Country, and they do, I'm afraid, often get killed on the road. It's something I've never eaten, but I'm going to give it a try and see what it is like.
Arthurs stora intresse sedan många år är alltså att leta upp olika slags djurkadaver och laga mat av dem. Han menar att den stora utmaningen är att laga god mat av sånt man inte äter i vanliga fall, som till exempel hund, råtta, grävling, räv eller katt. Man kan lätt tro att hans hobby borde gjort honom sjuk, eftersom djurkadavren ofta legat länge ute i markerna och kan vara ruttna. Arthur vill dock poängtera att han är sällsynt frisk, även om man inte rekommenderar vem som helst att pröva det här. Till exempel är det mycket viktigt att låta djuret koka länge för att man inte ska bli matförgiftad. Just nu tillagar Arthur alltså en uggla han hittat.
If an animal is fresh, you know where you are, and I personally like the meat when it is fresh. But it doesn't mean to say that it can only be picked up when it's fresh. I have picked up animals that have been swollen, blown up with gas, and when I stick a knife into them, the gas escapes with a hiss and a roar. Okay, I think this is just about done. I'm going to try a bit of the owl, if I can do it without burning myself. I've never tasted anything like that. But it's quite nice. I've eaten animals that have had maggots in them, and I've sometimes eaten the maggots, provided they're cooked. They're a little bit but like noodles. Quite a little sensation in themselves. Right, here is my freezer.
Arthurs frys är full med sånt som skulle få det att vända sig i magen på oss andra.
Lumps of badger. More venison. Here I have a rabbit, a whole rabbit. Pheasant that's been cooked and ready for the party that I'm going to hold. More badger. Here we have the greater horseshoe bat. But not a lot there to eat.
När Outsiders är på besök hos Arthur är hans fru bortrest, så henne får vi inte träffa. Enligt Arthur är hon av flera anledningar inte helt förtjust i hans hobby.
My wife is a vegetarian, and so any meat is to be abhorred by her. So roadkill, I'm afraid, is not her flavor of the month. She doesn't really enjoy my picking them up, but she does realize too that the cats enjoy a bit of rabbit and a bit of pheasant, and so I can often get a rabbit or a pheasant into the car and get it home on the pretext that I am cooking it for the cats, and then I can get away with it.
Arthur, som letat upp och tillagat döda djur under flera år, har också gjort en hobby av att samla på skallarna från sina fynd.
Right, here we have part of my skull collection, very treasured. These three are badgers, which we've been eating. This is a dog, much bigger than a badger. This is one of my special treasures, and that is the skunk. It's one of the stoat family, but that is a difficult thing to collect because its smell clings to it for months and months afterwards. And this, one of my finest treasures, is a horse skull picked up out here on the moor. Hello? Yes. Ah. Oh, you've got one. Did you pick it up? You didn't? Oh. You got it off the road. Well, that's very kind of you. Whereabouts? Whereabouts is it? Yes. Yes, I know. What, beyond the lay-by? Right. Okay. Thanks very much. Jolly kind of you. Thanks very much. Bye then.
Arthur har fått ett tips av en granne som sett en död grävling ligga vid vägkanten. Det är ofta så det går till, att en bekant ringer och tipsar om en överkörd hund eller en uggla som flugit in i en vägg. Arthur har prövat det mesta och säger att olika djur har väldigt olika smak.
Hey, a badger. The taste of roadkill is something I find very difficult to describe. In themselves, they're hard to distinguish. But on the whole, let's say badger, it's a red meat and it's fairly coarse and it has reminiscence of venison, but it has a musky overtone to it that you don't seem to be able to get away from. A fox, on the other hand, is a powerful taste, a bit like sort of petrol and onions. But you can drown this with mint sauce, plenty of it, and then you think I'm eating lamb. So taste is enigmatic. They don't taste wildly different, like black currants from apples. They're meat, and they're very similar.
Inför kvällens middag börjar Arthur nu förbereda grävlingen. Han ska flå den och ta ut inälvorna. Och han har ett speciellt recept han ska använda för att tillaga just grävlingshuvudet.
Tonight I'm cooking a badger's head and I've got it it's ready for going into a casserole with some vegetables and it will cook for 5 or 6 hours slowly in the oven. And then it will be ready. It's a special treat I give myself occasionally. Oh, that smells good. Yes.
Arthur har låtit grävlingshuvudet koka i ett par timmar och nu förbereder han sig för en, som han själv påstår, delikat middag bestående av grävlingshuvud med grönsaker.
We're going to have the head. Here it is. Whoop. Here she comes. Yes, been nicely cooked. Let's roll her over. There. Lovely badger head. Look at that. How many people have that for their dinner of an evening? There we go. What a feast. There's something to go with it. Where's that? Oh, tender, tender. Lovely. Tender and tasty. Give me a good badger any day.
Det finns speciella skäl till att Arthur älskar just grävlingens huvud så mycket.
Badger's head has 4 different tastes.
Perfect.
And 4 different textures. You've got the muscle, big jaw muscle, and that's a fairly coarse red meat. You've got the salivary glands tucked away under the jaw. You can winkle these out and they are delicious. They have a flavour and a texture of their own. You have the tongue, and then there is the brains. Brain is very good for we old people. The fats that are found in brain will prevent this happening, so that's why I like the head.
Precis. Arthur har många olika recept på hur man lagar mat av olika slags djurkadaver. En underbar kattgryta, saftig rävstek och kryddstark labradorsoppa.
This is probably a Swedish bird, actually. We get Scandinavian birds coming over and spending the winter here when it all freezes up in your part of the world. The little birds are not really worth plucking, in my opinion. So there we have more pieces of meat. I have cooked house sparrows. I've made a pie of them. And they are similar in size. They're the same family, they're finches. There we have 6 nice pieces of meat. That'll be a meal worth having.
Givetvis har folk i Arthurs omgivning ofta reagerat på hans ovanliga matvanor.
People do often express exaggerated disgust when they hear about my eating roadkill. But if someone comes to a meal and I have cooked something additional to the regular menu and invite them to eat it, it's surprising how many people will say, well, let me have a try. And they'll taste a bit and maybe not eat a great deal, but they seem to enjoy the adventure of having something different. In a way, it is a bit of an adventure.
Arthur planerar att tjäna pengar på sin bizarra hobby och ge ut en kokbok med recept på olika rätter med döda djur. Han hoppas på stor framgång för boken eftersom den med all säkerhet kommer att vara ensam i sitt slag i kokboksgenren.
This is my book and it's going to be called Roadkill. And it's all about my picking up dead animals beside the road and cooking them and eating them, and the bizarre events that have occurred and do occur every time I find something. I suppose it's partly because my life is somewhat eccentric and bizarre anyway. The book will also include recipes drawn from old and new sources, and some of my own, and possibly the legality of eating roadkill.
Genom åren har Arthur upptäckt att olika djurkadaver lämpar sig för olika typer av recept.
A favorite method for dealing with these kind of animals, that is game, pheasants and rabbits and hares, is to make a pie of them. You cut the meat off the bone and then put it into a pie along with vegetables and other things, and that turns out very nicely. And I don't see any reason why any species of roadkill couldn't be treated the same way. Here we have a recipe for game pie, which is over 100 years old, and it's quite a big recipe for serving 6. Its ingredients contain pheasant, partridge, hare and rabbit, boned. So this would be very appropriate for animals picked up by the roadside. Pheasant, hare, rabbit, badger, bone it or not. You can stick it into a pie, and this gives you the ingredients and the way to do it. Lovely.